Well, the first thing you're going to see are bags on one wall, on the perimeters, and jewelry.
Usually you walk into cosmetics.
Usually, but not Barney's.
In a department store. And this is not a department store, I understand?
This is a specialty store.
Specialty store. All right, what are we going to see past jewelry?
As we do get past jewelry, we'll come into the center staircase area, which is cosmetics.
All right.
And
Down here, some artisan work I see.
yes, we have art integrated into the fixtures, and this is art that's inspired in part by our environment, where we are in the desert, and done by one of our decorative artists, John Paul Philippe.
All right, let's see a little mid-century modern influence here. All right. So what's going on over on this side?
That begins our designer ready-to-wear. Starts off kind of anchors with Lan Van, one of our biggest designer vendors.
All right.
And wraps around the high-end cosmetics here and into shoes.
Okay. All right, so we're walking into shoes underneath this grand staircase.
Yes.
This is a signature in Barney's, correct?
It is. It's one of the earmarks that we, again, try to differentiate ourselves with other retailers. We always want to have, instead of a big escalator or elevators in the forefront, a staircase. And this is an artistic kind of installation. Many of them are residential, and this evokes a little bit of Arizona as well.
These are traditionally white staircases, no? Sort of like smooth, sweeping white, and is that correct?
That's a good point. This is more sculptural. As some of our other locations, it's more residential.
Okay,
So they're different in each location.
gotcha. Why the big sheets of metal?
Again, more like a sculpture as opposed
Okay.
to...
Because we see a lot of these, they use it in architecture quite a bit out here in the desert,
and
so.
even the bus stops right out front of our building.
Right, of course. Now this is a signature for Barney's, these perfume chambers.
It's signature for Frederick Mall in particular. He's a perfumer
Okay.
from Paris, and he uses these really as this is his trademark signature. These are smelling cabines.
So you stick your head in, and then what?
You open when they're operational, you open up, spritz, and then you flick a switch, and then it all goes away.
And then a bunch of cash flows around, and you have to
No
grab as
cash,
much as you can?
But you can try the next fragrance as well. You can keep going, and then none will be polluted the other.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's head up the stairs. Do all Barney's have this sort of cracked stone floor? No, this is...
But we always have mosaic in some form or another.
Okay.
And instead of the small typical mosaic tiles, we use this kind of cracked interpretation here.
Gotcha. And it looks like maybe some sandstone influences in the tile
Yes,
over there.
That's a local product that surrounds our entrances.
And you have 3 entrances.
We do.
Okay. And one goes directly to Fred's. So that's
Correct. You can take an express elevator right to Fred's.
okay.
When the store, kind of off hours, when the store is closed, or if there are special events or you're having a special party, you can reserve it and go right up to Fred's.
Right. Now this is the co-op department. Explain co-op.
Co-op is sort of the entry into Barney's. Price points are slightly lower, but the real concept is that it's more casual. It's more urban, it's more streetwear. There's a big denim piece, and also kind of emerging designers before they're real designers. Small artisan companies, denim, those are the key elements.
Right, right. Now, are you going out to find some of these design elements that I see? The furniture, and over here, was this from a hospital? What's the deal?
It's a medical lamp.
Okay.
We find pieces. The whole nature of our fixturing is very eclectic. We mix different periods and different materials. This is an example.
It's a great piece. Where'd you find this?
eBay? You know what? All kidding aside, we use eBay as one of our sources. So
You really do?
Yeah, there are websites that are specifically for mid-century furniture, different things.
Right. Now, I might be biased because I'm going to spend some time in the men's dressing room, but this feels like a wood shop to me. Is that kind of the idea a little bit? Like a sort of modern wood shop
Not
or something?
necessarily, but it's the wood itself is a recycled product. It's called Paralam. It's an industrial product, so it does evoke kind of that more kind of rough and ready wood shoppy kind of a feel.
Gotcha.
And again, when we get all settled in and we have all the decorative elements in place, these will feel very casual, very fun.
Okay.
So a little bit different feeling than the luxury part of our store.
Right, right.
Nuanced, not as serious.
And the walls in the women's dressing room up here, cork, I think I saw?
The men's actually are cork.
Okay.
A little more masculine. And then the women's designer are usually a grass cloth or a silk kind of, more of a luxury kind of a feeling. Like when we were in Personal Shopper, that's the feeling of also the women's.
Gotcha. What else is up here?
It's men's and women's co-op, which takes about 40% of the floor here.
Okay.
There's a Chelsea piece, which is our home furnishings area, and that'll consist of mostly decorative glass, other decorative elements, a few lamps, cartel furniture,
Okay.
Jonathan Adler, different things for the home.
We're all going to hit our heads on these things.
That is very good.
This is pretty smart, what's going on up at the ceiling here.
This is a ceiling-based fixture system, and obviously it's extremely mobile.
Right.
You can configure it in a million different ways. We'll end up hanging mannequins.
I was just going to say, I've seen mannequins hanging in New York.
Yeah,
So
some of them are all, you can see, I don't know if they're all fitted, but they're all fitted with these little pieces on their heads.
That's funny.
Plug them in.
What's your favorite part of the store?
Favorite part of the store? I think I like Fred's.
Right.
But I also like the big glass box in the corner.
Let's go take a look at that. What's going on with the big glass box? This is sort of the beacon, I guess you could say, for Barney's in town.
Yeah, I think we wanted a strong statement on the north side of the building as you came down Camelback.
Right.
And from an architectural point of view, this was our attempt at that. And it's not unlike some things we've done in other locations as well, such as Dallas.
Right.
So we wanted a big, strong statement on this.
Ooh, I'm getting vertigo. It's a little crazy in here.
It's a little crazy.
So you're going to hang these?
Yep.
Will this
Yeah,
change?
sculpture.
Will this be a changing display now?
I don't think so. I mean, nothing's forever,
Right.
but it'll have a life, probably a fairly long life here.
Gotcha. Where do you go for inspiration for designing a store? Are you just traveling a lot, looking at?
We travel. I think Barney's has such a great history and legacy in terms of where we came from, our referencing of mid-century designers, our eye towards whether it's in clothing or architecture. I think we always try to be relevant, and it's a matter of looking around
Right.
and all the time.
This Fred's, does this look like the Fred's in New York, the Fred's in Chicago?
Again, evolution. It's evolution rather than revolution. Each one is kind of built upon the other. And
What's behind you?
this is very much part of that chain. It's a little different.
Well, it's a very sexy space.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Glad you had that response. Great bar area. This should be fun. It has two entrances, as you referenced before. You
Right.
can come up. There's a private elevator. It swings out onto this sort of waiting porch area and then in. And then the dining area along Camelback.
Right. You've been coming to town quite a bit to watch the progress here.
Yep.
Where do you go to eat? Where do they send you?
I'm sorry to say, it's mostly mall food. I don't.
So
care much.
Sparrow or Steak Escape? Which one?
I've hit them all.
All right.
Sparrow yesterday. So.